I wish I could there was like a form, like like on Facebook or something, just like opt out. Just like a check, just like opt out of family bullshit.
Did you read the EULA of marriages?
You're actually opting in to doubling your family bullshit. That's what marriage is. Oh, man. This is We Have Concerns. Hi, Jeff Cannata.
Hi, Anthony Carboni. This episode, I think, should start with a bit of a warning, because we might be blowing some people's minds. This one...
Such salesmanship.
Yeah, man.
All right.
I heard about this a while back. So was supposedly this crazy new propulsion system invented that broke all the rules of physics. Not all the rules, but broke the rules of physics.
But also broke the rules of the heart.
Well, those are the most important rules. And I was skeptical. And a lot of people were skeptical. And I kind of wrote it off as BS. But now, just this week, it turns out that NASA has confirmed some of the results. This was sent in to us over at wehaveconcernshow@gmail.com by Dustin Lakin. This is an article on Wired talking about NASA. They've kind of confirmed the fact that this is the third time that these results have been confirmed.
Okay.
This crazy device that bounces microwaves around in order to create propulsion. So it's not using fuel. It's creating a very low-powered propulsion system that theoretically could completely transform how we travel in space, how satellites work, and how manned space travel could work.
So this bounces low-frequency radio waves off of subatomic particles, almost like you using your hands to push off a wall.
Yeah, they actually describe it a little bit like how underwater submarines work.
Okay.
They're pushing against water.
Right.
Well, this is pushing against particles that we can't even observe in space, that we didn't even know if they were there or not. We theorize that they're there. But this evidently pushes off them and creates momentum with using very small amounts of energy.
That's so cool.
Which could completely revolutionize our world. This could be a major game changer in how space travel, how we get around the galaxy, how even small devices here on Earth could work.
Right, but I would imagine here on Earth, so you're talking about microwaves. So if microwaves are pushing up against, matter, just like the matter that makes up everything, that's got to be a really small amount of propulsion. So this is not going to get a spacecraft out of the atmosphere. This is like the spacecraft is out of the atmosphere, or we have a satellite orbiting the Earth. And if the satellite is orbiting the Earth and its orbit starts decaying, it could just use these really low force waves and kind of right itself.
Well, what you're describing is what we know it can do based on these experiments.
Okay.
But theoretically, they're saying if you increase the amount of power it's using, you could get a significant amount of thrust that you could actually leave the atmosphere on this.
Wow. But that's theoretical. But as it stands right now, if you got a craft into space, once it's in space and there's a lot less gravity and friction and whatever, you could switch from like traditional thrusters to these microwave thrusters, right? And then start pushing, and the effect would be slow at first, but then it would be exponential, right?
Yeah, the NASA paper that we're talking about here that just came out last week says that their conservative estimate about a manned mission to Mars using this from Earth orbit with a 90-ton spacecraft driven by the new technology, they would use a 2-megawatt nuclear power source, which can develop 800 newtons of thrust with this engine, theoretically.
Okay.
That would mean the entire mission would take 8 months, including a 70-day stay on Mars. Now, compare that with
it takes
6 months just to get there.
Yeah.
Right. With what we've been planning with conventional means, the technology we have now, it would take 6 months just to get to Mars and requires several hundred tons to be put into Earth's orbit to start with.
Dude, if I was a Mars One applicant or something, I would pull my application right now. I would be like, just based on the technology that they're planning on using to send people to Mars with like traditional spacecraft technology.
Yeah.
Like, this is the difference between 3 years of using your poop as radiation shielding in a tiny capsule to die on Mars.
Right.
And going to Mars, checking Mars out, being like, yeah, we set up Mars, let's get home. and then we'll come back to Mars when we're ready.
It's crazy.
That's like a huge difference.
And you don't have to. The other thing that's crazy is you don't have to stay on Mars the 18 months that they were planning to wait for all the planets to align for the journey back. It doesn't matter anymore because you can just get up there and change your trajectory and doodle around. This technology,
because right now we're talking about most space missions are like slingshot missions.
Exactly. And this would theoretically create what they're calling the NASA Dream Machine, which is a spaceship that can generally just fly around the solar system.
I just picture an NBA basketball Olympic team. I picture like the Harlem Globetrotters. This is the NASA Dream Machine. It's like Curly Neal. This is great. Man, this changes everything.
It could.
I hesitate to get so excited though, because I don't know.
Don't hesitate.
We haven't seen it yet. It's
Jump
not
on
a
this
thing.
bandwagon, man.
Who are the three people? Okay, one of the groups of people that has confirmed these findings is NASA. That's a good sign.
It's a good sign.
That's a good sign. Who are the two? Have they done any of these experiments?
Yeah, so the results have been proved 3 times. The first guy is named Roger Sawyer, or Shire. Mm-hmm. He's in Britain. And then there was a Chinese group led by Professor Yang Yan in Jian, China. And generally, most of the rest of the world went, China did it? We don't really believe that.
There's a lot of falsification of scientific papers and studies in China right now. It's actually a really rampant problem.
China said they broke all the rules of physics. You know what? I don't know about that.
China says they got a time machine. China says they have 17 time machines.
Yeah. I don't think China has that. By the way, the guy who theoretically invented this device, although there's kind of 2 versions that this paper is talking about. One's called the M drive. The other is called the Cannae drive, which is very close to Canada drive. I'm just saying. Cannae.
That's a bad reason to back one technology over another, Jeff.
I think it's a very, very legitimate reason. That's all I'm saying.
All I'm saying is look into the M drive first before you grab a Canada drive just because of the name.
And the guy, the even better name-wise, is the guy who invented the Cannae drive, Guido Feta.
He's one of us.
It's Guido Feta.
He's one of us. Go, Guido!
I'm Guido Feta. I'm glad all of you came to this press conference. I will take questions about the Canada drive. I appreciate it. Yes, you in the front.
Dr. Feta, this is a pretty gigantic claim. You're basically uprooting everything we know about physics.
Yes, I am.
And you just kind of expect us to believe that.
You can believe it or not believe it. I'm just saying. Maybe you don't believe it. Maybe somebody comes to your house and maybe you don't walk for 2 weeks. That's all I'm saying.
Are you threatening physical harm?
No.
Towards the press?
Oh.
For asking a simple question?
I would never do that. I'm just saying. I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
How does the Cannae drive work?
You know your microwave at home where you put your snacks?
Uh-huh.
It's like that.
How is it like where I put my snacks? Hey, Guido, yeah, you don't have to answer this guy's questions.
Thank you.
You don't have to answer this guy's. Who are you? Let me ask you something. Who are you that you don't know what a microwave is? I know what a microwave is.
My associate and my lawyer. This is Saul.
If you can't wrap your head around a microwave, what are you even doing here? How are you even a science reporter right now? My guy's been working on this thing for years. He doesn't need you coming in here not understanding what a microwave is. You ever had a snack? Yeah, I've had a snack. Yeah? So what's your problem?
Yeah, what's your problem?
What's your problem?
Eat a snack.
Next question,
Have
please.
Have a snack.
Whoa. Yeah, I don't know. I may go with the M drive.
I liked this guy's cheese.
The Cannae drive, is that a Star Trek joke?
He's not admitting that, but
right.
People are suggesting that it may be like this. Can they break?
I cannot give it any more.
Yeah, cannot break the laws of physics, Captain.
What is it named for then?
There's a war, the Battle of Cannae. I don't know. It's some BS. We all know it's Star Trek.
It's Star Trek. He's fucking with everybody.
But listen to this. If you're skeptical still, Anthony Carbone,
which I am,
listen up. A superconducting version of the M drive would, in principle, generate thousands of times more thrust. And because it does not require energy just to hold things up, and it says, just as a chair does not require power to keep you off the ground, in theory, you could make... Are you ready for this? hoverboards.
Don't say hoverboard.
Which does not, you can make a hoverboard which does not require energy to float in the air. We're here, dude. We did it.
No, wait a minute. You just did a really big jump. You just jumped past.
Future.
No. You just jumped past the entire explanation of how it works. You were just like, no, it doesn't need energy. It's like a chair.
It's like a chair.
What the fuck does that even mean?
It's in Wired, man.
I don't. Listen, I just read it was like a chair. You just like, hey, are you sitting in a chair right now? Yeah. Then what's your fucking problem? Do you not want a hoverboard? No. So all you said was it's superconducting, and so we can have hoverboards. That doesn't mean anything.
I'm only reading the article here. It says it could generate thousands of times more thrust.
Why? How does the M drive work?
Man, I'm gonna have to look in this article for the M drive. Shire's M drive produced 91 micronewtons of thrust for just 17 watts of power, compared to 40 micronewtons of thrust from 28 watts of power for the Cane drive.
Okay.
So the M drive actually is more efficient.
But they both run off of the same principles. Is that the deal?
They work differently, but it's basically the same principle.
Okay.
Yeah. And they're saying that if you could create a superconductor version of the M drive,
I really don't want to get to like the Blu-ray HD DVD war of space travel. Oh, I'm sorry, man. That's these parts are only M drive compatible. I'm stuck in space, motherfucker.
Oh yeah, no worries.
This isn't like I can't watch the Royal Tenenbaums. I am gonna die in space.
Should have gone Cane.
Fuck.
That's all I'm saying. You should have gone Cane.
I don't need that, man. Space mechanics charging more for one standard over the other. I don't want this.
So true.
I don't want the fragmentation of space technology.
Can I charge my M drive? We only have lightning cables. But man, hoverboards, it says you'd still have to provide lateral thrust. Mm-hmm. You know,
just like Marty did.
Just like Marty did. And it also says that superconducting electronics are rather bulky and expensive, so this idea is likely to be a few years away. I'm willing to wait. As long as we're on that track, as long as our top men are on it.
You can't just keep saying that our top men are on things. That's not how things work.
Sounds like our top men are on this.
Look, the hoverboard has been promised for years and years and years.
And now we're finally there.
No, because also, son of a bitch bastard.
The hoverboard future.
No. Not only that, but superconducting materials. This is another thing. Everybody's always talking about superconducting materials like they're going to come out next Tuesday. Next Tuesday is when superconducting materials are in everything. There is actually, like, you always hear about graphene and other superconductors and how easy they are to make, and how it's just like, oh, graphene is just real simple. You can make it.
It's inexpensive, right?
You can make it just super light, and you can just create it, and it's just made of the same thing that you make out of pencil lead, and it's going to be crazy. What they don't tell you is when you create graphene, you can create pounds and pounds of graphene, and only a certain type of graphene can be used as a superconductor, and you don't know what type of graphene you've created until after you've created it. So even though graphene per gram or whatever, that superconducting graphene is really inexpensive in comparison to other technologies that we use for batteries and energy and stuff like that, you could create a pile of graphene and only have a couple grams of the right kind of graphene. And you can always reprocess that, but it's much more labor intensive and imprecise as all of these articles about the graphene future would have you believe. Mm-hmm. So for me, when you're saying not only are we going to have a warp drive that warps the very laws of physics, but also it's going to be powered on graphene, I'm like, dude, you're just adding unicorns to Pegasus.
You're such a skeptic. This is an article that says NASA, who by definition are our top men, are working on this.
Son of a bitch.
And they've made some real progress, and I want...
What is their progress? What does NASA have right now going on in NASA?
Well, they tested this idea, and it seemed to work out, and now they're going to do more tests.
How did they test it? Did they just get high and talk about it?
No, well, that's not what NASA does. I don't know if you've ever been to NASA.
They got mohawks at NASA now, man. They're all getting high.
That's true. That's true. They built the thing over 6 days, and then they tested it for 2.
Okay, so they actually made one.
They made one.
Okay.
I mean,
but they haven't...
That's like a week of work. I would like a little more work.
Would you? But if there are top men, like you keep saying,
they have probably a lot of responsibilities.
They're probably just, they could probably put one together pretty quickly. For them,
that's a good point.
For them, if they have the plans to this drive, it's probably like me building that chin-up bar. It took me 6 days to build a chin-up bar, but I imagine that it would take NASA scientists 6 days to build a warp drive if they have instructions for the warp drive.
Well, and also we should say that chin-up bar breaks the laws of physics.
If I can do a chin-up, it would break the law of physics. So they have one. Are they planning on like launching it soon or putting it in a satellite soon to really see if it works?
They did it on such a small scale and so inexpensively that it really would be useless for that. It was just really to test the idea.
Okay.
Because no one knows why this works. There's all these different theories as to why it works, but no one is quite certain as to why.
That's a little disheartening, actually, to be going to Mars on the drive, on the impossible drive that nobody... Here's what's going to go down in the mission. Commander Falkland, what you're going to do is it's you and your team, you're going to be in the capsule. We're going to launch you using a standard thruster system, like the ones that we use in Discovery.
Yep. Trained on that.
Once you get out of the solar system, we're going to turn on the pixie dust.
I'm sorry, Dr. Miller. I think I didn't hear you correctly. Did you say pixie dust?
We're going to turn on the pixie dust. That's right. And then you will be in space.
Is that a code name?
No. It's the pixie dust drive, and then you're going to be in space
for
8 months on an engine that basically runs on dreams, and you're just getting
dreams.
Yeah,
I have 2 doctorates, one in physics, one in theoretical physics, and I've never heard of a dream-powered spaceship.
It's new.
Do I have to dream it?
No, we've already dreamed it.
Oh, you guys dreamed it.
But what happens is, if you do find yourself stuck,
I have to
clap your hands and believe.
What if I have a nightmare?
Oh, don't have a nightmare on this mission. No.
Nightmares are bad.
I would recommend wholeheartedly not having a nightmare in the pixie dust based spacecraft. That would be catastrophic. No one wants to test it. Are you kidding? Anyway, good luck. We'll see you in 3 years or never.
I certainly won't have any nightmares about this mission.
Yeah, stay positive. That would be my advice to you.
Oh, dear God. 3 years later. I got bad news.
Go ahead, Commander.
We got up there fine.
Great.
And the first night, I went to sleep.
Oh, don't sleep, Commander. That's when the bad things come.
Oh, God. That wasn't in the manual.
Well, there is no manual. That's the other... We don't know how it works.
The spaceship took me places. Took me places I did not want to go. Took me places inside me. Dark places.
Commander, is this a sexy thing?
It was pretty sexy.
If I'm going out into space, which as we all know, all space exists for is to kill you.
Right. We've established that.
If I'm going out into space, I want to go out into space on a machine where they know what's up in that machine. So I guess on a certain level, I'm glad that they're testing it. On another level, it scares me once again that you keep using the words top men, and they're just building this thing and they don't know how it works.
Well, that's like me, test it
once
more.
Again, to use the IKEA or chin-up bar analogy, I just kind of look at this box full of parts and I trust that a dresser will happen. I don't know why a dresser happens or how...
Same thing, dreams.
But man, I don't want a spacecraft that does the same thing. I barely trust the dresser.
Well, the dresser doesn't defy any laws of physics, such as we know, other than why is there always bits of stuff that I didn't use in the bag when I'm done making the dresser? That shouldn't be.
That's a big one. I just have a big plastic jar, and I put aside all the parts that are left over from everything that I put together.
Yeah.
Just in case I need them, but they've all mixed together over the years into this amalgam of uncertainty. It's a physical representation of the overall lack of faith I should have in everything I own. Because it's just this hodgepodge of screws and nuts and weird like L brackets and shit for everything in my life, from my PC to my furniture
just
to my air conditioner. Number one, it's this big reminder like, hey man, you are shit at putting things together. Number two, you don't understand how you put any of these things together. Number three, any one of these parts could be load bearing or electrically important.
Right.
And anything you own could just fall apart or kill you at any time. I think that's what that jar means to me.
I think Pixar needs to do like an adult version of Toy Story where all of the unused parts from shit just hang out and talk about how forgotten they are. Superfluous.
The island of misfit parts. I don't know. I'm excited that their early tests have been positive. That's dope.
Awesome. It's amazing.
It's really amazing.
Life-changing.
If this is the technology where it finally changes colonization of Mars from suicide mission into fact-finding mission into
like weekend jaunt.
Yeah, God.
Let's do it. Or just to be able to go up into space and tootle around without having to worry about trajectories. You're just tootling around, man, like how every science fiction story works.
God. A lot of people think that once a NASA spaceship gets into space, there's a certain amount of control that they have over it. And kind of, but not as much as you'd think.
Right.
A lot of it right now is based upon slingshot physics and momentum and launching it.
Where we're going is where we're going.
Launching in exactly the right moment because everything does have to line up. For this to be like, hey, Jim, you're drifting, turn left. Whoa, that all of a sudden changes a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So if this is the beginning of that, I'm very, very, very excited. I'm just saying, let's not look for it tomorrow. Let's not look for it next year. Let's chill.
Is there anywhere I can pre-order my hoverboard?
No.
I want to pre-order it.
You can probably
Do I
kickstart
get a pre-order bonus?
Yeah, the bonus is the guy who runs the Kickstarter runs off with your money faster. How optimistic are you guys about this? When do you think we're going to see a mission to Mars that isn't a suicide mission or a hoverboard or or something powered by superconductors? I would love to hear what you guys think about this.
Pretty sure you guys are on Team Jeff with this one.
Oh, God, there are no teams. There's Team Reality and Team Fantasy. That's I'm at A. Carboni.
And I'm at Jeff Canada.
And hey, we started a Patreon this week. If you've been enjoying the show, go check it out. Patreon is a way that you can support the show and allow us to keep making it without us having to do weird advertising or strange corporate things.
Boy, we would be very grateful if you headed over to patreon.com/wehaveconcerns, checked out our video, and maybe found it in your heart to contribute to the continuance of this show.
Buy Jeff's hoverboard for him.
Oh,
motherfuckers.
I want that.